Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Tech Tuesday. My name is Ben.
Hey, I'm Tim.
And we are excited to be back answering questions for the people. It's genuinely one of my favorite times of the week is to come over here and answer some questions. Just see what's going on in the world of ACES fuel injection. That does not involve the day-to-day office, whatever you want to call that. But before we begin, typically, as we always start, Tim, do you have any thoughts? Maybe some questions? Maybe even some fashion statement tips before we get started this wonderful rainy morning?
Yeah, fashion statement stuff. When you're using wiring loom, don't use the cheap corrugated plastic stuff. Use a nice split loom. If you don't want to afford the automotive grade variety, you can use the AV stuff off of Amazon.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the same manufacturing. Maybe different temperature ranges, but, you know, I haven't melted in it yet. That's about it.
Yeah.
I like a nice, tidy, loomed-up harness under the hood.
Yeah, you just got done doing one, actually. I don't want to share too much as you put that information on your channel, but
yeah,
you got one that's looking pretty neat.
We did the one-tire dumpster fire S10, and weirdly enough, last night at about 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, I took the intake off the Tahoe. I put a carburetor-style intake on, installed a kill shot and a Hall effect distributor and a coil, and loomed up some harness and everything.
Yep.
I did all that in less than 5 hours. Like test driving.
Now, granted, that's you.
Yeah,
You know.
I mean, it wasn't hard. I mean, the fuel system was already done, but yeah, I took all that stuff off and then put all that stuff back on in just 5 hours, and it's nice and tidy. It's not even like,
Just sitting there.
It's not just chilling there like a normal test unit. This is a permanent install for the
You
Tahoe.
didn't have me walking around trying to shoot video and getting in your way and anything like that, which is beautiful.
I'm just going to do a lot more exciting stuff this year with that Tahoe.
Yeah.
So
As you should. It's a great truck.
might even get it painted.
Yeah. All right. Well, what you guys came is to listen to the questiones. So I guess get started with question uno. Question one by Kareem's 8416. After purchasing the Killshot 2 Master Kit only a few days after the price dropped a few $100s, I reached out for a credit. The customer service team isn't willing to do anything about it, and I was suggested to just return it. Been getting the runaround whenever reaching out. Really wanted to support. However, he's disappointed, Tim.
It's advertised. The difference is exchanging a throttle body. You know, it's got what's listed, what the price is, but there's stuff you got to do, which is send in your trade-in.
Let me provide some clarification on the trade-up program.
The
trade-up program.
Sorry.
It's still a thing,
It is.
and the price is not dropped. I think what we've been experiencing is since we've made it, what we've done is we've made it easier for people to get the price of the trade-up program, having to send the system back after they get the credit so that they can get a system sooner and not have to be without a system, especially if that's the one that you're running on the vehicle. True. So there's a little bit of good faith that's going into that. But at the same time, we also understand the importance of you having the system. And being without a system could be, it's just not great, especially this time of year. So when you guys are
season, dude.
Turning wrenches more often. So that's the goal. There is if you've done the trade-up program, it has not dropped in price. We've just made it more available for you to get the trade-up price without having to go through a bunch of jargon and waiting for us and time frames and stuff like that. Though we do expect you to send it in, and if we don't, if that ends up nipping us in the bud, we'll probably end up going back to the other thing. But that is what's going on. So just hopefully that provides a little bit of clarification what's going on here. There isn't not a trade-up program anymore, or we haven't dropped the price. We've just made it easier for you to get it for the price that we want you to be able to get it at if you're wanting to trade in a kill shot, or not a kill shot. Well, I guess technically if you had an old kill shot, but old TBI
like
system.
Really old kill shot.
And a carburetor. So, yeah. I hope that provides some clarification, but if you have any more questions, obviously you can reach out to our customer service team, give us a call.
You can just call in and ask for clarification on that to make sure you're seeing what you're seeing.
Yep. But yeah, I know that's been something that we've been seeing recently. We're trying to address that, but we haven't gotten rid of the trade-up program, and it's not a few $100s less expensive. That's just the trade-up price being offered with, being easier to – you send it in after you receive instead of having to wait. So I hope that provides some clarification. So,
all right. Toyota Junkie. I would think if the linkage amount's the same, a progressive linkage for $50 or maybe $60 would be a good idea.
Yeah.
The manufacturer just make $100 more, for example, and y'all separate at the plant, just suggesting build in on the question from last week, so on and so forth. I already addressed. I understand you guys say get a 2, but some don't want or need an upgrade the entire unit and peripherals. Anywho,
he says anywho.
It actually says anywho.
Like you.
Still enjoy watching and listening to you goobers. LOL. Right. So
we are in fact goobers.
No,
I am. I don't know about you.
I'd like to see that. I'd like to see just micro kits of things like if somebody wants to buy progressive linkage, like you just get on a website, point, click, and buy it. And like I want progressive linkage. If we do it for the Killshot 1, it's not going to come like with the throttle body, but you can probably buy it as a separate thing. Like it's like if you're getting an extra fuel fitting or something like that, or replacement fuel fitting, or something along those lines. It'd just be a, small price to pay, send it out type deal. That's probably what you'll see in the future. More than likely, we just gotta.
Not sure when.
Just gotta talk it through.
I do think I agree with you. It's definitely a great idea. But I don't know. I think one of the pushes to optimize was why we optimized and created the Killshot 2 was to have that progressive linkage on there. But maybe that isn't too hard to do. But I'm not on that side of the creation.
Right.
But anyway, Kyle Condos 9575. I wonder if he has a condo. I wonder if it's in Florida.
Nah.
Nice right now. It's raining here. I guess, but isn't it true? Like in Florida, it rains like once a day at the same time every single day.
If it's not raining, there's mosquitoes, and if there's not mosquitoes, there's some other form of insane heat or something.
That's true.
Or the Indian River down there. Like if you're working in the Cape, it just stinks. It's weird. I can't describe it. It gets on you.
Fair enough.
But
I'm more of a Clearwater, St. Petersburg, Tampa guy, so I guess I never.
Tampa. I got a lot of friends in Tampa.
Anyway, sorry, got out of a tangent on your condos there, Kyle. Any plans for a big block Ford 460 port injection kit, like the Wild Card or Joker kit?
I haven't thought about it. I can look into it a little bit. That might be a good thing because there's a couple big block Fords just actually in the shop.
Yeah.
Hanging out. They're under the hood of a Lincoln. Or 2.
That is true.
But, that'd be a hoot.
Do you know
We'll see if our manufacturer's got that. I'll send that message later. That's a good one.
I'm only asking this question to build off of it because I've seen some in our advertising in Facebook about multi-port for Mopar. Do we have any updates on that or still just rocking?
I think we're still waiting on manufacturer on that.
Okay. Just wanted to throw that out there too. Just made me think of it. Anyway, let you go.
All right. Craftworks MC. Great video.
Thank you.
As always, you guys. Just in regards to the gentleman who's asking about the VSS signal for his C1500, is there no way he could split the wiring and run one set of wires to the factory GM VSS input wire for the Speedo and the other set to the Aces ECM? I don't know enough to know if that could work or not, but it looks like Current Performance has a splitter. Seems like you could also make your own for wiring adaptation. Thanks for the feedback, tips, and advice. Thank you for posting this comment. If you just tie into a signal, if you just cut the wire and tie into it, you're going to have some feedback from one sensor to the next to send that signal out. Unfortunately, you can use like a rail-to-rail OP amp with a minimal signal disparity, I guess is a good way to say that. If you got one of those in your pocket, I carry a few on my desk. but also, Depending on what system you're running, some of our systems has a VSS output signal, so it would have the input from the transmission, then the output from that to the speedo on the dash. And you can run it, if you're running on a C1500, you probably still got the factory VCM in there, just like I'm doing on my Tahoe, where it, the speedo still works and everything because of the way that I'm not using all of the system. I'm using some of the truck and some of the aces.
Yeah.
I will be doing a more in-depth dive into hooking up the TPS and the map and the speedo and RPMs and all that jazz. I just got to decode it and harness and then show like good methods of how to pick up a signal and send it to a already existing factory or OEM ECU or VCM or BCM or whatever you're sending it to. Because there's a thing, when you tie signals together, they get very confused. It just makes a bunch of noise. And then you'll have like really weird stuff happen. Oddball transmission shifting problems and such. Yeah. So I'm refining that secret sauce on my personal ride because I drive it every single day, and why not? If I figure out the right recipe, I will make a banger of a tech document of, if you're doing this, we don't fully support it, but you can do it like that type situation, with the understanding that, this is outside of normal.
Right.
It's not something that we have engineered, but it is a thing that if you're going to do it, we might as well give you an answer for it. So that's what I'm doing on my personal vehicle.
Yeah.
I'll probably make a video about it, honestly. But that'll also be a good ACES video for later, too, of explaining what and how I did that. There's a lot of really quite sharp people out here that's made their factory cruise control and all kinds of neat stuff work. So I'm going to look into that and have a little bit of fun myself. Yeah. Because I want my cruise control to work.
Which we won't condone for a while.
No. You're fooling with factory OEM stuff that's normally dependent on your state is regulated by the EPA. Yeah. Those guys are great to deal with. If you're running a performance shop and you ever got a letter in the mail, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But you got to be careful when you're fooling with them things because they will come down on you.
Yeah. Roger that.
About $114,000.
Yeah, I pass. Hit that over.
Skip that.
Yeah.
No, it's when you're splitting signals, you can use some diodes, but it degrades it a bit. You can use a rail-to-rail OP amp, not a big deal. You can buy like a little circuit board thing off of Amazon. It should work fine, but I would test it on the bench first to make sure you're getting a good 5-volt signal in and then similar signals out. Yeah. But it will scrub it just a smidge if you're not careful. Just the price to pay, I guess. But
I'll do that. I am going to read this question, and I know that people want it so bad. So Matt McCarthy, 7776. It's been a year since we were told it was coming in the next update. Any news on the addition of the fuel gauge to the handheld? I don't know if it's been a year.
No, it's been more than a year since I've been trying to get that. But I did actually, it was part of my morning email because, we just knocked out a couple massive projects, and now we're circling back around to some of these smaller, a little off the mainstream stuff, like, adding trace functions into some of the systems in the tuning software like Royal Flush and Deuces Wild, because it just makes it easier to tune if you can track where you're at the table. So we're going to add that in. The fuel gauge thing, we're going to get back into it. I actually bought a universal fuel sending unit just to play with a little bit, so whenever they have more built into at least my level of software, I can start actually messing with that and start getting the information so that when it comes into a public release, it's like I've got just a solid document and an ACES video about this is how you set it up, this is how you do it, this is the resistance values I'm dealing with. If yours are different, just make sure to use those instead type stuff.
Yeah.
It should be a 0 to 250 and then a 250 to 0, depending on how you're scaling it, depending on, make and model, whether it's a Chevy or Mopar or some other off-brand like Ford.
Yeah. I hate to give timelines, but do you have a idea of when we could be expecting to see that realistically?
Hopefully before I shoot my Tahoe video, because I want my fuel gauge to work.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Weirdly enough, I'm kind of hoping to get some traction on that here soon, and at least get an answer, so that next time we get to ask this question, I'll be like, no, it's going to happen at this date.
Yeah.
Because
it's still in the works, is the bottom line. Well, we haven't forgotten about it.
It's just like the fuel sensor itself.
Yeah.
Like the alcohol content sensor, we was hot and heavy on that, but we had these bigger things come up that was more people pushed for. And it's like we gotta redirect some of our engineers to work on this project and not that project. Unfortunately, we keep them all busy.
Yep.
So when something gets finished, we instantly reassign those engineers associated with that to another project. So sometimes, like with the fuel gauge thing, we want to pull one and put on that to get the rest of it, because it's physically there. It's just not in the programming yet, which is a bit of a monster to make sure it functions correctly. Because you got to, like, into the tuning software, you got to do it into the firmware, you got to do it to the 7-inch and 5-inch and the HD and all the different systems to make sure it functions correctly. And then I got to do a lot of testing personally, which is always fun. But yeah, that's that.
Yeah. All right.
What, Melvin Tucker Jr., 2450? Tim does poetry. Yeah. That's insane.
No, that's not.
Sorry, but not sorry. I do a little bit.
He does do the.
If you catch me tired enough, I had to take a class as it goes. If you catch me tired enough in the group chat, I will burn you down with some very prolific, nasty stuff that's hilarious. Really make you wonder about your own existence.
Good job, Melvin. No, I'm just kidding. No, that's good. Maybe we'll read it at the. I think I said it. We'll read it at the Pro Touring.
Nobody wants to be sad today.
You never know. We might get there, and they're like, Tim's poetry, and they're like, poetry.
No.
No. Okay.
They can just read my book.
No. Cody's the question, I believe.
Yeah, Cody Fox, 95, 96. Would you guys consider coming out with a splitter for the screen and tuning cable? That is considered as it goes, but. We have to assign CAN priority. It's a whole thing. As soon as you plug that computer in, it takes all of it. And if it's trying to share it with the screen at the same time, it messes with it. Yeah. So we have to actually, when it detects it's plugged into a computer, it needs to work in a certain way. When you have a screen plugged in, it confuses it a little bit.
Yep.
So, it works, but marginally. I just wouldn't recommend it because it may corrupt data. But we need to, dedicate a path to, like, if it's plugged in, this is what it does type stuff. You'll probably see that in future systems or a new ECU design or update with older stuff. So hopefully we make that pop off real quick.
Sweet. Jenkins137 says, I'm curious what the difference is in the stock, mild, and race camshaft settings in the jackpot system. Everyone knows what stock cam grinds are, I'm sure, but I'm wondering what the difference is for mild and race settings when doing initial startup on the jackpot.
Neat. Yeah, so stock stuff's obviously for a stock motor. Mild stuff's for, like, you got a bit flowier heads, fat camshaft, something with some overlap, something with some lift, something that makes vacuum around the 50 to 70 kPa area is generally where I see most good mild camshafts at.
Yeah.
But that's it. Each one has their own level of fuel table offset.
You're just building the initial fuel table.
Like, say, stock will be at 47 VE at idle. Yeah. Mild may be 50 or 60, depending on a lot of factors. Race will just be ridiculous on the amount of fuel. But it also messes with some of the airflow settings in the background, some of the PID settings for, like, the IAC and how fast or reactive or not. And obviously, the biggest thing is going to be in your fuel table. That's the biggest change. You can run a pretty nasty motor on a stock profile in the handheld, but even on most stock engines or most engines that I put in, man, I could put it in at mild and adjust accordingly.
Yep.
I could just actually.
That's actually what you do.
That's generally what I do. Yeah. It's just easy. It's the middle of the ground because I don't know how aggressive the motor that I just put together out of spare parts in my garage is, because I have a cam that has all the numbers rubbed off of it that I don't even know what it is. I measure it. I got an idea what it is. So I just start everything on a mild, and if it's got crazy fuel, I just switch it down to a stock and adjust from there. But yeah, it's just a lot of background stuff, so the more aggressive engine. And I think we got more data on mild stuff because I'm usually testing things that have a bit of a cam to it, or some big fat flowy heads, or some weird pistons.
Yep. People use race very rarely. I'm just thinking of Nicky
I've
Bobby
seen it. I've
running
seen it.
the E85 stuff.
Yeah, and he ran
in.
that on a mild motor in the race setting, so it gave the adequate amount of fuel for that E85 he was running. And that was the benefit. It was 30% more fuel.
That's the
and it ran.
Table.
Yeah. Ran just fine.
So
I ain't talked to that dude in a while.
Yeah, he's busy. He's doing his thing. But yeah, that's pretty much it, I think. Hope that helps. As you say.
Yeah.
Hope that helps. Need to put that on a t-shirt.
C sharp. 2592.
Dude, look at it. He's got a suit on.
Obviously.
Reed, put that up there.
Obviously, he performs.
Guy is looking C sharp.
You know, the first time I ever spoke publicly, I was in a red chrome suit at a brass band thing.
I don't think I've ever worn a red suit in my life. Brother,
I did.
Brother looks
chrome,
chic.
Dude. It was chrome red. It was
That's
awesome.
beautiful.
So C sharp, great video. Will the jackpot work with a Holly Dash or Autometer Envision Dash through the CAN bus port? Nope. We have our own proprietary CAN traffic. We will eventually adopt into the ability to have like the J1939 stuff separately through some CAN, but right now we got our own proprietary encoding, just like everybody else does. Just like if you're going to plug that Autometer into something, or Dakota Digital into something, it has to translate between theirs and ours.
Yep.
And gateway modules.
Yep.
As it calls
Which does exist for Dakota.
Which, yeah, ours do exist for Dakota. So.
Yep.
And they use their own module for that.
Yep.
But eventually, I'd like to see us make our own gateway module. So if somebody wants to really, really run something like that, and they're trying to use our system with somebody else's old dash or stuff, then it gives people more freedom. But that's a thing. We got other things to fix first. Other things to update. Other things to do.
Yep. But it's definitely there. MGP Customs 4494 says, I will need an XL hat for a larger head. Bring them. It's true.
Yeah,
we are getting a bunch of
we're getting
sizes.
new hats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
oh man, I'm so excited. We're designing new hats, hoodies. We got straw hats. We got fender covers. Dude, there's so many good things. It'll be a whole line of merchandise that you can finally put your paws on for Aces Fuel Injection. You can actually rep the brand, not just have a couple stickers in your box. So I'm excited. I think a lot of people have been waiting for it for a long time too. I mean, I've been dying to have an Aces hoodie.
It's like sticker packs. Like if you're doing something at an event and you got some kid running around being a nuisance. I mean, a future mechanic.
Put your hands on this, sir, and
they grow up to be like me. So, anywhoozles.
That may be a good or bad thing. You don't know.
It's sticker packs, man. Everybody loves Go Faster stickers. I love Go Faster stickers. I'm a 40-year-old grown obese man that does technical stuff all day with a laptop and scopes and things.
I'm sure there's others that fit.
I've got a whole box of Go Fast stickers near my desk because every time we get something in, I take all the stickers.
Yeah. You can. That's verifiable evidence for sure. It's a thing.
So one of our authorized tuners, Bryant Stillwell, he lays down a nice tune, and he's a pretty good guy. And he also likes to send videos of him doing burnouts, which I like. I think we're using one of his videos as a proof of life somewhere, ain't we?
Yeah, I mean, we're doing something for our website too.
He is super good about just being straight, like with the whole gig. It's like he's not like, oh, Ace is my favorite thing, and there's this, that, and the other. He just tell you how it is. Yep. And if he's having a good time, he'll let you know. If he's having a bad time, he'll also let you know.
Yep. The more of those we have, straight shooter wise, the better anyway, because we who we want to be anyway.
We like people to just be this is the deal.
Mike Cotton just released a video, same deal.
Yeah. So he don't have no favorites. He's like, this is good. And he gave us
true and honest.
So he gave us great feedback on some stuff, and I like it.
Yep.
I like that. So Bryant Stillwell said, I suggest having an option to select Hall Effect Gambler or Magnetic Pickup Blackjack when purchasing a kit that has a Hall Effect available. Also, make a Hall Effect for everything V8, please.
Did you write this question?
No.
And it wasn't Bryant?
No, it wasn't.
It sounds something like you would write.
No, I probably replied to it, though. Or somebody. Let's see who replied. Wait, this is an Apple, isn't it?
Yes.
This thing's trash. Let's see. Twin Turbo LSX. Agreed.
How
The
many
Hall
fake
effect
accounts do you have?
You know what's funny? I don't have any fake accounts.
No.
I've just got accounts I don't monitor.
This sounds exactly like a question you would ask if you were.
No, that's a solid question. I've been asking that question for a little while.
For reference, Tim puts Hall effect distributors on everything. Doesn't matter if it's a multi-port setup, a TBI setup.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not because you don't like magnetic pickup distributors. You just like Hall effect distributors better. Am I saying that right?
I like to go ahead and get a Hall effect because I don't know what direction the build's going to go later, whether I'm going to go multi-port or something interesting or coil near plug applications. I want to go ahead. If I'm buying one for my personal vehicle and I know I'll be testing some ACES related stuff on my personal rig later, I'm like, I'll just go ahead and go with Hall effect. It's a digital, clean signal, extremely accurate, does a good job, and works with like everything.
Yeah.
So,
but to Brian's point, you can still run a Hall effect distributor with the TBI setups. You just hit.
That's how my Tahoe is this morning.
Yeah, I just don't know what button you hit in the Wizard. Is it
CDI? It's a square 12-volt wave, so CDI signal, as we call it.
But yeah,
that's it.
We could put. I mean, I don't know if we could put it. I'd imagine we can put those in the startup procedure. Those words, just change it to either Hall effect or magnetic or blackjack or gambler.
No, it's in there in the Wizard already.
It is?
Yeah, he's talking about making it part of the kit when you buy it online instead of you buy a top end kit. It doesn't just automatically come with a magnetic. You get the option to get the Hall effect.
I rechanged your question in my head.
Yeah.
Yep. It's definitely. I don't think I can talk to. I'll look into that. I will look into that. I don't see why we couldn't do that. I think we might sell more that way.
Don Dotner.
Yeah.
I think your price point is great on everything. And what price can you put on Tech Tuesdays and support staff? That is awesome. And free, thanks. $.
No, we do this because, one,
we love it.
It was an idea we pitched, I guess, over a year ago. We're on episode, 68? We've been doing this a while, but we started doing it because people had questions, and we were seeing that we couldn't take in all of the questions at the time, so we decided to create another segment to where people have questions. They can put their questions in the comments, and then Tim has an opportunity to address them. If they don't have to do a tech, then I can also help address them, but also we've just been doing this for a while now.
Yeah, it's good fun.
So
it gives different points of view as well.
But it's true. It's great. It's turned out to be fantastic.
I don't know anything about sales at all.
Yeah.
Like, my realm of existence is letting the magic smoke out before you guys get the chance to.
Yeah.
That way, it's way harder to let the magic smoke out. You really have to hook it. You can hook up anything wrong enough and make it a smoke machine. That's part of my job.
Yep.
But now that I've done that a bunch, and being the tech person that I am, I like being here to answer your questions. This is way more fun than doing it one phone call at a time for me. I'm not allowed on the phone anymore.
Ain't got time for that.
Well, yes, there is some of that too, but I'm extremely candid. So
he's annoying to deal with on the phone.
Oh, kidding. Am I?
I'm kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Though I'm not even gonna get into that. Anyway, Ronald Gallihue 9456. I have the Killshot Classic. Cannot get the truck to run right. Okay.
It says it's just about to give up. Don't give up yet.
Give up.
What's up with it? What's it running like? What's it running not like? You got RPMs. I mean, it's going to be a Killshot Classic. It's going to be something you'd be using with an HEI or a coil, a canister coil, or even a CDI box.
Definitely.
But,
don't be using.
I wonder what the deal is. I wonder what's up.
Setup.
You have a vacuum leak. You got the right fuel pressure. O2 sensor in a funny spot.
What's it on?
There's some diagnostics on this, but lay it down for us. Actually, hit us up on hit up the Aces owners chat. Send some pictures and all that jazz. Because there's a lot of super helpful people out there. There's a lot of trolls too. Don't get me wrong. There's actually, authorized tuners get in there a lot. Sometimes I get bored when I just get out of a meeting at 2:00 in the morning, or just get out of the garage at 1:30 in the morning, and I have nothing to do. So I will go through and write
No,
comments.
there are a lot of good people in there that are doing crazy stuff and doing everyday stuff and everything in between. So it's a great place to ask for help as well.
This one's directed at Ben. This is the next one. Straight to his ego. Twin turbo LSX. Why are you in a tech video if you don't even know what header wrap is? Dang.
I will say
he's going to get his own project car, so he ain't had the pleasure of doing that stuff yet.
I have learned quite a bit about just the whole aftermarket as a whole, but the automotive industry just by getting to participate in Tech Tuesday. But I'm more so here for anything else that happens to be a question with regards to Tech Tuesday and just hanging out with Tim.
Yeah.
I'm in marketing. I'm not. But not that that's a...
Everybody knows you're in marketing, silly goose.
Yeah.
No, but the cool thing is, response to Twin Turbo LSX, Benjamin is going to get a project car.
Yep.
And he does hang out with us.
Yep.
And it's a good fun. But we got to show him the way. All this younger generation, they haven't had to be that poor that they've had to work on their car to get to work, to get off of work, to afford the parts to work on their car to continue to get to work out of poverty reasons.
I was close to buying a 71 Plymouth Satellite, but it was the 4-door, not the 2-door. But it just looked cool. I like Mopars. I like the look of Mopars. My dream car is a Dodge Challenger. But
your personality type lines up with Mopar owners. That was
is that a shot? I think
that was towards Bryant Stillwell.
I think they look great. I would love gorgeous. A green one. The Plymouth was green.
You stick in the 70s, man, and you're going to end up with, it's artwork. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's artwork. You like an old school, like a Monte Carlo for me. I think I love the body lines. I love the way it looks. Like, even the car will change your music taste as it goes. But the opportunity for somebody like yourself being extremely young and coming into this industry working for a place like where you work here.
I work here. We do work here.
We do a lot of work here, which is sending things like per my last email.
Yep.
But no, it's the more people, the more these guys, this younger generation.
Maybe we'll might be able to answer some questions 40 years from now. Who knows?
He'll be answering questions one day like, let me tell you. On my 440, what I had ran into personally, and that's that'll be a thing he'll say eventually whenever he realizes and gets that wrench time in and be like, oh, I get it now, because he'll flash back to some question he got asked. I've got 2 years ago.
Some experience being here, working on the Camaro, dropping the tank with Bradley and going, whoa, that thing has gas in it.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, we see you got a really narrow floor jack and a flimsy board, and you're trying to do it by yourself. You're using a jack. Yeah. You're using your foot to actuate the jack so you can hold the straps up to try to get the thing in.
Some of my favorite videos are when somebody's turning a wrench, he's underneath the car, and then you hear the metal squeak. And you look over, and then they've got some random thing holding up the car that is definitely not supposed to be holding up the car. Latest one was a little minifigure of Darth Vader holding up the car.
That's a good one.
It was pretty funny. But anyway.
We'll get him bench pressing a transmission, an old 727 Alpha torque flight up into the bottom of his Plymouth at some point.
Yeah, you guys can make fun of me. I'll get there eventually, maybe.
Yeah. Until then, everybody will continue to make fun of you.
It's okay. It's all right.
Especially
it's
me.
part of it. I'll be the
You got to learn to take it if you're going to be in a shop.
Gotta be the scapegoat. Somebody's got to be the scapegoat. But awesome. What time is it? I don't even know.
I don't know.
I think
it's 11:08.
We're already there.
We're already there.
Okay.
Enough of picking on Ben.
I think that's all the questions for today in Tech Tuesday. Is there anything off the top of your head you wanted to discuss or shout out, or anything going on?
No.
Pro Touring Truck Shootout still coming up?
No. That's good. I'll be there talking a bunch.
We've got this beautiful 1969 Chevy C10 that's going to be leading the drivability cruise at Pro Touring Truck Shootout. So super excited about that. More info is coming to you soon.
Carl? Is that Carl's truck?
Yeah, well, he built it. The guy who owns it is Brian. But I'll do a whole.
It's going to be neat.
It'll be great.
It's going to hopefully
wait for that. The install is beautiful. What he's running is beautiful. Tentatively, we are going to do a live install of the Killshot 2. So we're going to take off his Killshot and everything that he's got on there, and we're going to install a Killshot 2. And on the Wizard alone, he's going to drive the drivability cruise and lead it to Buc-ee's and back at Pro Touring. So you definitely don't want to miss out on that, or at least be following it on social media if that happens. That's my only thing off the top of my head.
No, we're gonna try to get that set up. We're gonna try to get that set up. I really hope it works out because I don't mind, and that's a good opportunity for the customers to just gather around and just start asking questions. Oh yeah. And I'll answer questions the entire time. Yeah. And I really hope to see Justin Richardson there. He likes to pop in every once in a blue moon.
If you're listening, Justin.
Big shout out. He's one of our authorized trainers. Really good dude.
Brian,
he's an aviation
or South Dakota.
South Dakota. Justin's an aviation enthusiast as well. Yeah. So
you could we'll just get him to land the plane on the drag strip. Is that a thing? Can we do that? He said we could do skydivers if we wanted, so I'm sure he'll be okay with landing a plane on that. No, okay.
I can call some friends over in E-Town and see if we can get somebody out.
No, okay. But
land my useless Cessna there.
I thank you, Tim, for coming over to the studio. Shoot another episode of Tech Tuesday. Thank you guys for joining us. It's been great. We always love to do it. If you have any questions about Tech Tuesday, leave a comment below, and we will get to it in our next Tech Tuesday video. If you like this content at all, it helps us if you give it a little thumbs up down there at the bottom. Or if you know people that are wanting to try out Ace's fuel injection.
And give us some hard questions. I wanna feel the pressure. Hard questions.
I ain't get made fun of.
Don't make fun of him. He's a young dude. Don't worry about that. They got like feelings and stuff. But the thing is, nail down some hard questions. I want to see something that's going to make me think hard, like something gnarly.
Yeah, now you're going to get Justin and Brian in here, and they're going to
No, it's good because my plan is I'm probably going to make Bradley do the next two.
No. Guys, seriously.
We'll learn all the youngins at once.
Yeah. We'll just do a humiliation show of me and Bradley trying to fumble our way through.
Trying to humiliate nobody.
Guys, seriously, thank you so much for watching this episode of Tech Tuesday. And like always, we will see you in the next one. Bye for now.
Bye now.